Hey, it's Allison here, owner of A Taste of Therapy, where every week I am sharing with you one of my most favorite recipes that just when you make them, they are just good for your soul. What do I mean by that? Well, not only do they taste good, because hello, all good food is good for your soul, but I include some mindset tips and some techniques that you can do while you're making the recipe, and that when you do those things together, it just helps you have the best day ever. I am all about helping you change your outlook while you cook, and today is no different. Today I'm sharing with you a fun recipe you can make that is for gluten-free ice cream cone crumbs. Now, this is a fun recipe that I actually came up with last summer because I wanted to make ice cream cones and I was having a really difficult time finding a recipe that would work for me because I didn't have an official ice cream waffle iron cone maker, right? But I came up with this as an option and I just love it. So I'll show you everything you need to do about how to make these ice cream cone crumbs and how you can enjoy this summer with your family. Stay tuned.
Okay, here are all the ingredients that go into making your gluten-free ice cream cones. Here I have 1/3 cup of white sugar, just plain old white sugar. I have 3 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter that you have to melt, make sure it's melted. And you can also substitute coconut oil if you don't want to use butter. It's going to call for a pinch of salt. And this one I have here 3 tablespoons of gluten-free flour. I'm using coconut flour, but you can really use any kind of gluten-free flour you want. And then it also has half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 large egg. Here is 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla. And then in this cup here, I have 2 tablespoons of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And you can see there's a little bit of cinnamon in there because I had the cinnamon in that cup before I moved it over. So this is unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And that's all that goes into this recipe, just those ingredients.
So now all I'm gonna do is literally dump all of this into this bowl.
Okay, everything has been mixed in, as you can see, and then I'm just gonna use a whisk, and mix it up, just like pancake batter. Essentially, that's what this is. Mix it in until it's all nicely incorporated, just like
Now
that.
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take what I just mixed into that bowl and dump it into my waffle iron. Now I told you in the beginning, I don't have a fancy waffle iron used for waffle cones. I just have a regular run-of-your-mill waffle thing. And what I love about this recipe is it came out of a complete disaster that I did last summer, like I mentioned. I was trying to make ice cream cones from scratch. I put them in the waffle maker and it just became this sticky, gloppy mess. But the batter, it tasted so good, right? It was just really tasty. And I was like, how can I salvage this and still use this as a recipe when it is completely not working as an ice cream cone? And that's how it dawned on me to make crumbles. So I took all of the crumbly mess out of the waffle maker, put it in a bowl, and then you sprinkle it on top of the ice cream. It's like a reverse ice cream sundae. My family loves it. I love it. Everyone loves it. It's ingenious, it's different, it's fun, and I promise you, it tastes really good. So that's how this recipe came to be. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your bowl of ingredients and put them in your waffle maker with the understanding it's going to be sticky and messy. And then you're gonna use a fork and scrape it out and put it into a bowl. Let me show you what that looks like.
All right, here's the finished product. As you can see, it's kind of a crumbly mess. And I was not kidding about this. It gets all in there. But what you can do is you can use your fork and just scrape it out. It's amazing, I'm telling you. Like, just scrape it right out and put it into a bowl. And then you're gonna sprinkle this right on top of your ice cream.
Another reason I wanted to share this recipe with you today is that it is a perfect example of how you can practically change your outlook in an instant, right? So think of it, the first time I made this recipe, I was super disappointed because, I like things to look right. I mean, hello, this is what I do for a living, and I wanted to impress my family with making homemade ice cream cones, and it was a complete fail. Complete fail, utter from start to finish. But one of the lesson that I learned through this experience was that everything that happens is an opportunity to change the way you think about it. And for me, this was such an eye-opening, game-changing moment because instead of, getting angry or irritated or throwing the whole thing out and being like, screw it, this was a total waste of time, my creative brain went into overdrive and I was able to say, okay, how can I salvage this? How can I make this still work for me, right? And obviously this little mindset tip is bigger than an ice cream cone crumble, right? This is all about life. This is a life lesson here. And if you are able to look at a crappy situation that comes your way, and instead of immediately reacting negatively and getting pissed or getting angry or whatever your knee-jerk normal reaction is, which is normal, by the way, we all have those reactions, but if you can pause for even just 5 seconds and say, okay, how can I make this better? How can I change this? How can I still make this work? Start asking different questions, right? Start looking at things differently. And when you start to do that, you'll get a light bulb moment like I had, and you'll be like, oh my God, I can make ice cream cone crumbles. I can tell everybody this was the recipe I was gonna make all along, and it's gonna be just fine. That's what I did with this, and it has seriously worked. We love it. We eat it all the time. That's why I wanted to share this recipe. That's what I want my mindset tip for you while you're making this dish. I want you to remind yourself. So this tip is a little bit more concrete in that the tip is actually in the recipe itself, because the recipe is not gonna make a beautiful ice cream cone, but what it is gonna do is it's gonna allow you that opportunity to say, what are some things in my life that instead of getting angry or irritated about, I can ask the question, how can I do this differently? I want you to start looking at things that way and see how crazy and amazing your life gets when you start to look at problems a little differently.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take a spoon and you're gonna put some right on top of your ice cream. And there you have it, my friends. The famous ice cream cone crumble.
Thank you so much for tuning in today and letting me share with you my recipe for the ice cream cone crumble. This is like the best reverse ice cream ever. Your family is going to love it, I promise. I can't wait for you to make this recipe and to hear all about the life changes and aha moments you have when you start to look at your problems a little bit differently. If you like this video, please give me a like, comment below, and share it with someone that you know. We need everyone to know how good this recipe is. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. So good. Bye.